guys, welcome back for another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laurie and I live in northern Utah, gardening zone 7A. So it's a gorgeous, beautiful fall day. Let's see if I can show you my maple tree in the back. Oh, so pretty. Loving it. It's finally cooling down a little bit. So it's the very end of October, like the very, very end, and I'm ready to plant some bulbs. You'll have to excuse me. I'm a little bit wet because I've been cleaning out my hot tub and I'm refilling it and getting it ready for winter. That's why I'm wet, but it's good to have that chore behind me, and now I'm ready to move on to my next chore. So today I'm going to be planting tulip bulbs. I have quite a few tulip bulbs this year, you guys. I went a little crazy. This is definitely the most I've ever had, and I'm really excited for it because one thing I have learned about tulips and daffodils or whatever is you definitely need more than you think. I've learned anyway, I just like everything to look a little bit fuller. So I'm gonna be planting quite a few things in this swoop back here in my backyard, and hopefully if I have time I'll go over by my court and plant some tulip bulbs that I just picked up a couple weeks ago at Home Depot, kind of last minute. Okay, so let's turn around and I'll show you what I've got. Okay, so the first variety I have are the Alibi Triumph, and these are from Holland Bulb Farm, and they look really nice and healthy. This one is maybe the only one. Oh, it's just that outer casing. Okay, so I have 2 bags of these. I can't remember exactly how many came in here. I'm guessing 20 or something, or 25 a bag. And so quite a few of those. And they're beautiful. I'll put a picture up on the screen, but they're a beautiful kind of pink purple. And I'm excited. I think they'll look really good right here with my white and yellow pansies. And then I have this beautiful Muscari. Now the Muscari I've seen is always a dark purple, and I've never seen it this light, and I don't know if the picture's just blown out or whatever, but I thought they were pretty. I got them at Costco. Costco is a great place to buy bulbs, and I bought some bulbs from there for my front yard that I'm going to be using, and then I got these for the backyard. That's all I got from Costco this year. So I thought that would be pretty with like this light blue color, the white and the yellow underneath, kind of like this picture, and then these beautiful kind of purpley pink tulips up top. So I have planted these in little groupings, I kind of planted them around my geraniums when they were here. So I think I'm going to do little clusters of tulips. I do like clusters, I've decided, better than things lined up. That's just how I prefer it. So I'll do a cluster in all these open areas, and then I'll come in with the Muscari and just kind of dot it throughout here so it's just kind of mixed in evenly. And that's how I'm gonna do it. I've got the lemon coral sedum. I'm just gonna leave it. This is regrowth from last year's lemon coral sedum. It took all year to get it to be this point, but I'm gonna leave it. I think it's nice, and it'll just die back, and then hopefully it'll come back next summer. So I have an auger that I hook up to my drill, and I'll put a link down to it below. I did buy it off Garden Answer, and I think it is one that she designed, and I like it. It's a perfect length, so I think it goes down 6 inches, which is the depth that you want to plant your tulip bulbs at. So this is it. So you'll just drill down to this point right here, and that'll give you the perfect depth to plant your tulips. And since I'm doing these in a clump, I don't know how it will work out. Sometimes it spits dirt everywhere and it's hard to get like 6 holes next to each other, you know, or 5 or 4 or however many you're doing. But I might just end up kind of doing a whole area, dumping some in and then covering the whole area. And then every time I have planted bulbs, I always use bulb tone, and I've had such great success. I should probably try it one year without it, but whatever just came whizzing by. But I don't know. I'm not testing that out this year. I really do think it helps. So I'll throw in some bulb tone, and then I'll put them in, and then I'll cover them up. And then when I'm done, I am going to come in here with a little bit of mulch and just cover everything up and make it look really nice, just because I want it to be finished off really nice and clean. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so as I was showing you a close-up, my dirt is pretty much clay right now, and I think it's because it's a little bit wet. So sometimes The auger I feel like is easy, and sometimes I feel like it's a little bit difficult. It just wasn't getting down, but you can see just kind of how wet and damp that soil is, and it's just was making clay basically. So sometimes I do have that issue. I was out of town and I came in here and watered this when I got back because it's been in like the 70s. It's fluctuated between the 70s and the 50s, and it's been really dry. We haven't had any rain. We're getting some rain in a couple days though. So I watered it really good, probably a little too good. And that's probably why I'm having an issue. But let me show you another tool that I use when I have this problem. And this tool works great too if you don't want to buy an auger. And I'll show you guys how to use it. So it's this, I can't remember what it's called. Didn't clean it off last year. But as you can see, yeah, it was really muddy last time I used this too. But what you do is you like push this into the ground, and same thing, this is like the perfect depth that you need for that. And then you just, your dirt clod will come in here and you squeeze this and it will release it. Sometimes it's hard to get out though. I wouldn't say it slides out really easily every time. Then you can just put your bulb in and then put that dirt clod that was on there back in, and then pretty much you're done. So that's really nice too if it works out. I mean, sometimes it does kind of get stuck in here, but so I'm going to be using this while I'm planting. I'm just gonna have to because it's a little bit damp right now. Kind of frustrating. It makes me feel like I want to wait a little bit to do other areas in my yard, but that's just how it goes. Also, for those of you who haven't planted tulip bulbs before, I wanted to show you the correct way to plant them. So this is the bottom. That skin can come off, it's totally fine. So this is the bottom. This is where you're gonna get your growth out of here for your roots. And then this is the top. This is where you're gonna get your little bloom in the spring, which is gonna be so exciting. So you wanna make sure it's facing up when you put it in the ground. You don't want it to be upside down, of course, or it's not going to bloom for you, probably, most likely. Sometimes they can work their way up, and you just want to make sure it's straight up, and that's how you plant it if you haven't done it before. So I'm going to get these in with the use of this tool. It's going to take a little bit longer than I thought. Always does. But let's get back to it. My son just edged, so it's a little messy now, but that's okay. It's all gonna go together. But I made sure all those tulips were face up, put them in the hole. I will say, I don't know what's better as far as putting these in the ground. I do like the auger, but I do feel like I had to use that other tool pretty much for every hole because it just wasn't quite getting deep enough where I needed it to. So I think it depends on your soil and how much money you want to spend, but I feel like there's pros and cons to each. If you have good soil, then an auger is going to be really great, and if you keep amending it and make it better, then it's going to be really good. But so it's kind of hit and miss, but I just wanted to show you the two different ways that you can do it that I think are easier than just like using a shovel or something. But those are the two methods I use. So now I'm going to leave these open. They have bulb tone in them. They're all face up. And now I'm going to find little pockets and holes where I can put in Muscari. And so I'm not going to cover these up because I want to know where they're at, because I don't want to put it in the same hole, obviously. So that's what I'm going to do next. And I did read up on the variety that I have of Muscari. because I know this is invasive, and I know people say that Muscari is invasive. There are some things you can do that I read online that can help it be less invasive, but apparently this variety is known to be less invasive, so that's good. And I don't care if it spreads in here a little bit, so we'll see. This is kind of a test, but I really do love the color of it. It's so beautiful, and just look how pretty it's going to look with this yellow and white. Can't wait. So I'm going to put these in now. Same thing as the other bulbs. You just want to make sure the pointing part is pointing up. These need to be buried 3 to 4 inches deep, whereas the tulips are 6 to 8. I did not have time to get to that other area, but that's okay. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. I've got one more day before it rains, so I'll probably get 2 areas done tomorrow. I'll have a little bit more time. I got a lot done though. I got my hot tub all cleaned. It's full. It's heating up, ready to go for the winter. I like to do that in the fall and the spring. Just refresh it with new water, so it should be good. Look how pretty these flowers are. These are ones we get to enjoy all winter out here, but this looks so much better. And I'm so glad this area is all buttoned up. And did it take a little more time with that Muscari? Yes, and I really didn't want to do it. But I did it, you guys. Sometimes you just got to do it. And in the spring, you will just be so, so happy that you did. It'll just bring you so much joy. So I had to just keep that in mind. But everything's all tucked in for winter. So this area is done. I have a few other things to do for winter, but I'm glad at least this area is all complete. And tulip bulbs are in, and Muscari bulbs. So we'll check back in the spring, of course, and see how everything looks. Of course, these pansies are going to be like 3 times the size they are now, so I'm super excited about that. I will say, if we have a dry winter, which sometimes we do, I will come out here with my house water and just give my pansies a little bit of water. It just helps them out a little bit. Not all the time, just maybe every couple weeks or something, depending on how much snow we're having or not having. So I just wanted to mention that, and I will do that for my roses as well, and some other things too. But I haven't really had to do that lately. We had a big drought like 3 years ago where it was pretty bad, and I did it a couple times. But yeah, so anyway, this area is all done. The mulch makes it look super nice, and thanks so much for joining me, you guys. And we will see you in my next video. A lot more tulip bulb planting. But I'm excited to show you what I have planned in other areas, and I'm gonna do some like lasagna layered pots too, so it should be really fun. So anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.